Good evening, and welcome to another atrocious episode of Diatribes from the increasingly infuriated and furious voice of doom. And now here's your host, the invective voice of doom. Thank you. I got a little bit miffed. I came home from work. I lost some money. I'm trying to make up for the bullshit that I have to put up with in this house. And I lost. And now I'm pissed. I'm going to take it all out on Petri dish because there's no better person to vent my rage on than the stupidest, most corrupt piece of bacteria that ever occupied the White House that should be wiped away with a sponge. And it should have been done yesterday or the day before, but you're still taking your fucking sweet, I don't like to swear, you're taking your bloody sweet time getting rid of these people, and if you don't do it soon, then I'm going to get angry. I'm starting to lose my patience. You've seen my other diatribes, and you know that my temper is very short. And I'm not going to put up with this much longer. If he doesn't leave, and I don't mean just him, but his whole cadre, everything. You can't just say, I heard them talk radio guys, and they're talking like life is normal. Oh, yeah, things are bad, but yeah, we'll just wait 44 months. We can't have Petri dish, resign because he's demented, or be forced to resign because he's demented, because the next one in line is worse. And they're saying, well, we better wait 44 months. Well, 7 months of being in office, okay? And what's happened? Just tell me exactly what's happened. You tell me, Democrats. You tell me, Acosta. You tell me. And I saw Acosta today, and he should be exiled to Antarctica, very high on a mountaintop, and left there by helicopter from, wherever they fly from, Argentina or what have you. I don't care where. Airlift him to Antarctica, put him on the highest mountaintop, and I know Antarctica doesn't have a whole lot of altitude, but it'll be bad enough. Leave him there with some parkas and a backpack, just like they come into the border with. And I'm sick of him. I don't want to see his face anymore. I don't want to see Giraffe anymore. They're trying desperately to prove that everything was Trump's fault. And I'm not going to put up with it much longer. When push comes to shove, I'll take action. And if I have to take action, I don't want to take action because I'm not that kind of person. So I'm giving Acosta and the rest fair warning. Get out, resign, leave your job. You're working for a satanic entity, and you are satanic. And if you don't atone soon, then I feel sorry for your future. And I don't mean your future like you're going to die lonely and in pain. That's obvious you are. That's obvious. I'm talking about your million lifetimes coming after that. You're doomed. I can't stand you, and I don't care if you're doomed. And I thought about the not catch-22, but just the conundrum that if I say yes, you all will be born in the same situation that these Afghanistani children screaming at the gate, not knowing if their future is going to be like being killed or being a sex slave or what their future is going to be. And I say you're going to be reborn in the same situation when I gave out my curse, which still is in effect. So I don't think that's out of the way. That's still happening. You're still cursed. But I thought, yeah, okay, the Afghani children in Afghanistan today may be reincarnations of evil people. and they're getting their just reward. And it's very hard to, it's very hard. Because when you think of things beyond just our regular life that happens right now, we were born in 19 whatever, 59, and you're going to die in 2048, whatever. That's just that's like a grain, that's not even a grain of sand. That's an atom on a grain of sand compared to how long people live. Life is indestructible. Life is a force in the universe. And you can't just say you only have one life and, all these other stupid cliches that is, make the best of your one life because if you're a Christian, then you don't believe you have one life because you believe you're going to die and go to heaven and live the rest of your life on a cloud singing praises to God for like forever. So think about how long forever is. I mean, forever is, take any number and quadruple it and quintuple it and just keep on multiplying it until you have the largest number possible and then double that and then double that. That's eternity. You're going to spend eternity up in the clouds praising God, and that's heaven. That's not going to be heaven. You're going to be bored. You're going to be bored after an hour. So give me a break and don't start with that. You guys aren't sentient human beings. And I got to explain life how it actually is. Life is indestructible. That entity, that force in your body that makes you a human being, that makes you thinking, that makes you a person with volition, with perception, with appearance, with everything that makes you a human, that goes on forever. So you're going to be on another planet. And don't think, I'm going to be reborn as somebody famous, or I was Marie Antoinette in my last lifetime, or I was something else. Don't think so small. This universe is huge. And when you die, your entity, your life force is going to be in a state of non-substantiation. Even drunk off my ass, I can explain it better than most of these religious what have yous. I know way more than the Pope. I know way more than Petri Dish and his entourage. Way more. And I'm going to explain it to you, that life is eternal. They're right. Yes, Christianity is right. There is eternal life. And you got to think about that eternal life. Because what are you going to do next time? How are you going to be reborn? And these people better start thinking about it, because people like Petri Dish, they're in for billions of eons of horrible existences because they had their chance. They had their chance to be powerful, and they had their chance to help, and they had their chance to make things better. And what did they do? They used their position to just enrich themselves, make horrible decisions, and always be wrong. So let's keep electing them. Let's keep electing them up into the higher, echelons. And then we get people that shouldn't even be close to the presidency that are one heartbeat away. And anybody with a brain knows that everything turned out wrong, because Biden said, I have to get a vice president that's going to fill a couple blanks. They got to check off a couple, squares. And they got to be, they can't be white, they can't be male. Now, how many people can I think of that aren't white and aren't male that I can have as a vice president? Well, all the good ones are on the other side. So what am I going to do? I'll take someone who would probably have to resign the minute they took the oath of office, because they're not capable, they don't have the capacity, they certainly don't have the moral integrity or character to do what they have to do to get us out of what Petri Dish got us into. And I'm really getting sick of people soft pedaling this. I mean, they're soft pedaling. I don't care how much they complain about how things are wrong. Even Judge Jeanine, yeah, she's the greatest. She's one of the great people in history to me. But she's still too soft because she has to kind of kowtow well, she wouldn't count on anybody, but she has to conform to the conscriptions of the network that she works for, because if she doesn't, then she's not going to have a platform. But I don't have a platform. My platform is the rug. And this is my sponsor. And I'm getting pissed. I gave them a chance. I've already given them a few days to get out, and they're not getting out. And they're going to let this go on. Do you realize how bad it's going to get? Everything is exponential, okay? 30 million people dead was the result of our failure in Vietnam. We could have just let things go. We didn't have to go there in the first place. And if we didn't, they would have tried and failed, and then they probably would have been Western Alliance countries by the late 60s, because they realized that their system is not going to make it. But they didn't. They had to fight because of the military-industrial complex, and I told you about that, and everybody should know about it by now. I've explained it a number of times. The damn left-wing communists I was hanging out with in the 80s were right. What America has based its economy on war, and we're going to pay the price for it, and I'm sick of having to have a conniption fit. And I'm saying nothing. I'm just ranting, and I'm saying more than most of these people that call themselves patriots. I hate that word. And other things. They get their people to give them data. I can get data. I can go on the computer right now and get a bunch of data about proving my point. And I probably will, because, people need to know that I'm not just a slouch. I know what I'm talking about. I've been around. And I've seen a lot of bad things, and I haven't seen anything as bad as this. I saw 2 buildings go down in a mushroom cloud of destruction. And I saw people in New York that never thought that they would ever have to face anything other than maybe being mugged on the street if they're out too late. And they're running for their lives, covered in soot, running for their lives. I saw first responders that went into a building that could have collapsed at any minute, and it did collapse, and they died. And I'm not going to put up with this response. We had it right the first time. We had it totally right with the last president. I don't give a crap. I'm not going to listen to you giraffes anymore, or Acosta. The more you try to rationalize your point of view, the deeper the pit you're digging yourself into. You're digging a hole when you're standing in it. Your karmic retribution, I don't even want to think about it. I do not want to think, because you're delusional and you're satanic, you're evil, you're the epitome of everything wrong in this universe, and you should be gone. And I don't care how it happens at this point, because it's going to have to get nasty. We're going to have a damn rebellion, or else we're going to go under. 44 months? Forget that. 7 months of petri dish, and look what's happened. And you want 44 months of that because you can't stomach the fact that some idiot gargoyle is going to be president? Then get rid of her too, and get rid of that other, whatever the hell it is, that miserable shrew in charge of the Congress. Has no business being in politics or running the government or trying to solve problems. The only thing she should be doing is sitting on a little bunk bed waiting for her meal. And that's what she should be doing. But nobody thinks that, because they're special. They're the elite. And I'm getting pissed, and I'm going to get pisser and pisser the more I freaking do these stupid-ass diatribes. I'm going to start yelling. I'm going to start really screaming. Because I'm not going to put up with this. There's a lot of innocent women, children in Afghanistan that are facing the worst possible future after we propped up a government and propped up a society in there that they were getting used to. They were like, yeah, I kind of like this Western lifestyle. And then suddenly it's all swept out from under them in a matter of minutes for no good reason, because some idiot thinks he wants to say he entered a war, which wasn't a war. And I can't even, see, it's already 15 minutes. I could rant on like that. These radio guys, oh, you don't know how hard it is to talk for that long. I could talk for this long for 3 or 4 hours without taking a breath. So don't tell me that. I'm better than they are. I'm much more articulate. I'm much more wise. I know more than they do. And they talk about how hard it is. They got to plan their show. I didn't plan anything. I just said this off the top of my head. It's way more articulate, and it says way more than any of those other idiots can say in an hour. So I'll leave it at that. I'll do another diatribe. I'm going to keep on ranting. You ain't seen nothing yet, okay? So that's that, and have a survivable evening. Try to make it through till tomorrow morning, and then I'll see you again. Thanks, everybody. Good night.